I had no clue I was going to achieve what I did when I first started doing gymnastics. I mean, when I was 4 years old, you don't think that far along. I was just doing gymnastics because I enjoyed it. And as you start to get older, things change. I started to go to competitions, I started to do well. And it wasn't until about 14, 15 when the kind of game changes a little bit. And it starts from going to be kind of a hobby to something that could be a potential career opportunity. But no, yeah, looking back on it, I wouldn't have expected to have won all the medals I have. It was crazy. I mean, I was quite young, probably a bit naive of the industry and the sport. Loved the fact I was at Commonwealth Games, but it was crazy because I was competing against this guy called Prashant Salathirai from Australia, and he was like my nemesis at the time, and he was always beating me, and he was the one to look out for, and I was the young up and coming one. And I remember I had a wrist injury, and I remember going to get scans on it, and the doctors were telling me not to compete. Anyway, I ended up changing my routine to make it easier on my wrist. I went to the competition, and I beat him, and I won, and it was just brilliant. Like, I went from being an absolute nobody to a somebody, and I remember coming home and there was banners up and all the village was out. I live in a little village, and it was just, I think that was the start, the start of me wanting to carry on doing well, and that's what really motivated me. So, but yeah, that was a very exciting time for me. When I won that medal, you don't really realise what you've done until you come home. Well, especially because I was in Australia. So I'm halfway around the world, you're in this little Commonwealth bubble, you're in the little village, you get a text from your mum now and again, Twitter wasn't really alive then, social media wasn't being used that much, so it was quite secluded in Melbourne. So I was I'm loving it, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. And then I come home and then it kind of hits you in the face. My mum was showing me all these news article clippings. I've got people around my house wanting to do television interviews and things, and it was just like, wow, what's happening? 5 minutes ago I was doing a sport, I wear a leotard for a living. No one really knows who I am. No one really knows many famous English or British gymnasts. So all of a sudden, people want to see me on TV. It was mental. Well, 2007 was the first World Championships I'd done successfully and won a medal. I did a previous one in 2005. I was young, I was 15, I'd made a mistake and fell off. 2007, obviously I'd done the Commonwealth Games. Between that, I'd got a bit more experience. And I went there a bit more confident in myself, confident in competing with the seniors. And I managed to get a bronze medal. And that was massive because I think it'd been the first medal since Neil Thomas, 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was. And it was big for British gymnastics. I was the young guy coming up through the ranks. People was starting now to expect things from me. And it was a year before the Beijing Olympic Games, where we were all in the Great Britain squad fighting to try and get into that Olympic spot. So me securing that medal meant I was in a good chance of going to the Beijing Olympics.